I have a confession. I want to eat better, but I absolutely refuse to follow yet another diet, to use calorie counting apps, or to scan barcodes for the rest of my life. At our age, nutrition is not as much about getting ripped, it's much more about longevity, how to protect your muscle mass, and how to have energy even at 4 p.m. without needing to take a nap. So I'm trying this experiment. For the next 30 days, I'm hiring a personal nutritionist. It's free, it's available 24/7, and it's a GPT in ChatGPT. My rules are simple but strict. High protein, high fiber, no alcohol, no sugar, and 2 liters or 8 glasses of water per day. Can AI actually help me without driving me crazy? Hi, I'm Chantal, and welcome to AI for 50 plus. Born before Wi-Fi, owning AI. Today, I'm going to show you how I created my own AI nutritionist and how you can too. Here we are in ChatGPT at chatgpt.com, and I'll show you where to go to create your GPT, and then I will walk you through the whole system, all these steps. So you go here on the sidebar, you see GPT, you go down to Explore GPT, click on Explore GPT, and then at the top here, you click Create, and you get this interface. I chose not to go with Create, where you can simply tell ChatGPT what you want and they will create the GPT for you, because I wanted to have a bit more control. So I went into Configure. And what you will need to put here is the name, the description, instructions, conversation starters, and knowledge. I decided not to upload anything in knowledge for now. I want to test it without it. So let's get out of here, and I will bring you to my document where I have the whole checklist here. And this checklist is linked in the description, so you don't need to take notes. The first thing you have to do is decide what kind of GPT you want. So for me, I didn't want calorie counter. I didn't want someone who would push me to perfection because I'm a perfectionist already. I wanted a coach. I want consistency, and I don't want complicated. So reducing decision fatigue is great. I don't want to have piles of questions to answer. So this was my sentence. This GPT's job is to help me stay consistent without shame. Then you choose a name. And for me, it was important not to go too much on outcomes, because I do put a lot of pressure on myself to attain goals. So I said, I want to this time look more at a coach who would help me be consistent. So I looked at what kind of behavior that coach should have. Calm, non-aggressive, no number, sounds like guidance. So the name I chose is the Consistency Whisperer Zero Drama Nutrition. Once you have that, then you can write the description. Who is it for, what problem it solves, what it doesn't do. And this is the one that I came up with. A compassionate, straight-talking nutrition coach that helps users stay consistent without calorie counting or shame spirals. This is not medical advice. I think the most important step is this one, and maybe the next two, because that's where you personalize. And all of these go into the instructions that we saw. The first one is what I call the coach charter. So how you want the coach to behave. I have the tone, what I don't want, anti-perfectionism rules, and you have it here. I put it all here so that you can see. There's a safety line if I don't feel great. What's the coaching voice, the core philosophy, anti-perfectionism protocol, and ask one helpful questions only if needed, and the output rules. What do I want in terms of answer when I go into this GPT? Then what is very good as well is the rules. What is non-negotiable? What is nice to have? And here they are here. No grazing rules, my non-negotiables, which I mentioned, no sweetener, desserts, alcohol, and nice to haves. And then the targets. And in my case, I wanted protein target, fiber, and hydration. Those were the most important one. So targets are here, very simple. And that one was a bit longer, but it helps when you're asking the nutritionist to give you a meal suggestion. It knows what you like, what you dislike, what your staples, and all of that. So allergies, intolerance, food I love, dislike, emotional rules. So for example, food loves, proteins, veggies, fruits, fats, oils, cuisine. And then real life eating patterns. So brunch, lunch, dinner, emergency meals, and reality. I don't want to prep for more than 30 minutes. So tools that I have and whether premium ingredients are okay. And then create a staples list. So what I have, and really it's in number 7 and 8. It ends up being in my faves, really. Then I wanted to look at, because you're going to see that I'm going to give you 3 examples after of that GPT. One of them is when you go to a restaurant, because we go out often. So what are the rules? What am I allowed, quote unquote, to do? And here they are here. Usually orders, bread basket, because bread is my kryptonite. And what I should order by default, sauces and dressings. It's more about sugar in my case, not as much about fat. And that's pretty much it. And then what I want what I can write into that GPT. So text questions, menu photos, fridge photos, logs, and what I expect in terms of outputs from the GPT. Daily plan, meal fix, restaurant menu chooser, reset guidance. So what you can accept as inputs, what you should output. Conversation starters, you'll see in the GPT, you can click on little boxes. So one of them is, I'll upload a photo of my fridge, give me a 10-minute meal that fits my rules. And then you create the GPT and you test it. So this is the whole process. It looks a bit more complicated than it really is, but you'll see that the instructions are quite long. So let's go back and I'll show you the real GPT. And here it is, the Consistency Whisperer. Zero drama nutrition, and you can see here my description, but I'll go behind the scenes so that you can see everything here. You have the name, the description, and then the instructions are all there. Core philosophy, output rules, user food profile are all there. Cuisine, kitchen reality, eating out, target, everything is in here. And there's quite a few conversation starters, and you'll see them. I'll go out of this and you can see them here. Now, if you see here, plan my eating day, 3 meals, protein first, higher fiber. I'll upload a menu photo, help me order. So that's at a restaurant, of course. I'll upload a photo of my fridge, give me a 10-minute meal. I had an off-plan moment. Oops, didn't do well. Help me reset without spiraling. So those are the conversation starters. So let me show you 3 examples. Let's start with the first one, which is the restaurant trap. In this, I'm saying that I will upload a menu photo. So you simply click here and it's going to start a chat, and then it will say, okay, upload the photo for me. Here we go. Now you go here at the little plus and add photos and files. And then I'll go into my photo folder and I will get my 2 photos of the menu. Here we go. And you don't need to say anything, you just send it. And then technically it should give you what would be interesting. Best order. Catch of the day, beurre blanc. Why? Ask. Okay. And sauce as is. Mediterranean fish, salmon papillote. Proceed with caution. Grilled beef tenderloin has balsamic glaze. Glaze is, yeah, it can be pretty sweet. Honey balsamic vinaigrette, well, I might go with that one anyways. It's not too bad. Greek salads, same thing. Quinoa salad, yeah, carb heavy, so that's might not the best one. And appetizers, best pick. And bread and dessert scripts, no bread, thank you. No dessert, coffee with cream would be great. And then if-then plan. If everything feels sauce heavy, choose fish. If hunger shows up later, that's data, not failure. So it's actually coaching me. That's the first experience. Second test, life happens. Yesterday, I spent a couple of hours going up a mountain. It was actually more a hill, but still, I came back home pretty wiped out, tired, no energy. Normally, this is when I would grab a toast with peanut butter because I'm not in the mood to cook. Instead, I opened the fridge door. It was a bit of a mess. Just took a photo, and then I clicked on the conversation starter. So you have it here. I did it before. I'll upload a photo of my fridge. Give me a 10-minute meal that fits my rules. He says, perfect, upload the fridge photo, zero drama, we'll work with what's actually there. Now, here's my fridge, a bit of a mess, and then gave me a menu, 10-minute meal, cheesy egg and meat plate, protein anchor, how to do it, portions, then fibers, because that's a priority, lactose-free yogurt, easy swap if something's missing, if then plan. If hunger hits later, don't snack. At the next meal, just eat a bit more protein. Hydration check as well. So then I said, well, I do have smoked salmon in the freezer. So can you suggest another meal? And he said, yeah, I can for sure. Smoked salmon egg plate, protein anchor, again, how, fiber helper. I have all of this, easy upgrade, if then plan. And then, of course, it finishes always with a question, I can help you or do something else. And what I like about this is that, of course, because I took the time to put that whole list about what I like, what I dislike, my staples, they're all things that I have that I like, and I'm more likely to use that. So that's my example number 2. Let's go to example or test number 3. Now, the final test for this video, the social pressure. So I have a birthday party tonight, not my birthday, but somebody close. And there will be cake and wine. With my rule, no alcohol, no sugar, I don't want to look like the person who's making a fuss. So let's ask here, I'm going to a party. Give me a strategy. To be social, but to stick to my rules. And let's see, here we go. Let's see what it says. Got it. Okay, your party strategy. Number 1, eat before you go. This is the biggest win. 10 to 20 minutes before leaving. Protein, glass of water, protecting our choices. That's good. Then number 2, hold the drink, social camouflage. Here we go. Default drink options, sparkling water, lime lemon, still water in a wine glass, coffee with heavy cream. Use one calm script, repeatable, boring. I'm good, thanks. I already ate. Everything looks great. I'm pacing myself tonight. Say it once, smile, change the subject, okay? What to do at the full table. Do not hover. If you want to participate, go with protein and veggies. Skip bread, desserts, and grazing plates. If then plan. If you feel everyone's eating, then I should too. Take a sip of your drink, talk to someone, remind yourself, this is not a food event for me, it's a people event. That's funny. Gentle reality check. Okay, all or nothing thinking, trying to negotiate. And one question only if you want, if this is a sit-down dinner. Oh yeah, is this a sit-down dinner or a cocktail-style party? Ooh, yes, I want to ask, it's a sit-down dinner. Ooh, that's a bit more difficult. Because yeah, walking around is not a problem. Sit-down dinner. Here we go, and let's see how good it is. It makes it easier, not harder. Okay. Pre-eat anyway. There we go. At the table, you don't need to clean the plate. Eat the protein, eat the vegetables, leave the rest. If it's family style, bread and dessert. Okay, decide before. I'm good, thank you. Everything was great. I'll pass, but coffee would be lovely. Decaffeinated, please. Social focus hack. Okay, and reframe. You're being consistent. And yeah, I can continue. Is it at home or restaurant and blah, blah. So, hey, that's actually pretty good. Well, I'm committing to this for the next 30 days and I'll see how my energy changes and if it's easy and if it works. If you want to try this yourself, I've put a link to the checklist in the description below. And since we're talking about using AI to simplify your life, you might want to check this video about building a second brain. See you there.